Episode number 10, here we are. And we sure do have a good one for y'all. It was hard to cut him short as we barely broke the surface with the life of Oscar Cardenas, but here are a few things you can expect in this extended episode. Understanding the real importance of a work-life balance, hearing about the exotic game industry in Texas, and pigs, a real problem. We also talk about pre-cell cam days, a time long, long ago, black bear and mountain lion sightings in Texas, and the strive for staying passionate and present while in the outdoors.
I guess 8 months now or something like that. So
Hell yeah.
a little bit.
Well, Oscar, I think that's a great place to start with you.
Yeah. Okay.
Is like kind of when you first walked in, it was like you just been all over the place.
Yeah.
You've been working,
Yeah.
you're still having fun, you and your girlfriend are doing great.
For sure.
Work-life balance and still being able to do what you love to do.
Yeah.
Like how do you operate in that realm, brother?
So energy, obviously through the roof. Like this, like I'm
Never
like this
would've guessed that.
24/7. Yeah. But you know, trying to keep a balance. It can be tough, and it was a lot tougher for me when I was younger. And like I said, like I've always tried staying away from working at home because I've never been able to balance it at home. Like I'm either doing one thing or another. But the older I've gotten, I've just kind of matured into it in a way. And like I've been here not very long, but for like a month and a half now, and like I've been able to keep the balance somehow. And you just gotta keep your head straight with what you're doing in the moment. You know, like I mean, really, that's how it is. And you know, like today, getting asked to be on the podcast and stuff, I just kind of dropped what I was doing, but still got what I needed to get done, and then switched gears. And I'm like, I'm going to spend time with the homies. Now. That's how it is, you know. Like, I mean, it really is. You know, this time of year, I work some crazy days. This is the earliest I've been off really since I've been here. You know, usually I'm working till 9, 10 o'clock at night. You know, so 7 to 9, 10. I mean, those are some long
hours.
days. Yeah, they really are crackhead hours.
Yeah.
You know, but I need it to be like that because if you know, we only have it for so long, you know. And like I said, when I've done it in the past, tried working at home, my mind's just been all over the place.
It keeps you in your lane.
It keeps me in my lane, you know. And it was hard for me when I was younger to stay in that lane. But dude, the older I've gotten, I have seen myself mature a lot in the last like 2 years. So it's been great. It's been real good.
Got to make hay while the sun shines.
You're still a little wild guy though.
Oh, I'm wild as shit, man. I always will be.
We know.
Yeah. Oh, I'm wild as shit. So.
Ain't got that out of you yet.
No, yeah. You know, but, you know, I have changed a little bit in a way, you know, like I cut out drinking a lot. You know, I kind of went crazy there for a little bit after I turned 21, and that was kind of big for me. And I never noticed it until last year, actually, when I was in Wisconsin. Wisconsin's such a big drinking state. Yeah. Like, there's more bars in Wisconsin than there is grocery stores.
Or hospitals.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Dude, there's bars everywhere. And so, like, even up there, like, dude, this winter, it's kind of funny, like, you know, like you said, crackhead hours. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I'm a slim guy. Like, I'm scrawny, whatever. But last year in Wisconsin, dude, I got a beer gut from hell. And usually, like...
That's what got you the woman,
yeah,
right?
Well, usually, like, whenever... You know, winter comes, I'll get a little gut or whatever. I ain't moving, I ain't working like that. And then summertime comes, and I lose it all. Last year, I didn't lose shit because I was drinking so damn much. Yeah. I mean, it was every day after work. You know, it was a really easy storm. So last year, I really was only doing like 8 to 5, 8 to 6 every day. You know, and then I'm not gonna go to a hotel. I'm going to the fucking bar.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what else is there to do in Wisconsin?
I'm gonna go get hammered, you know. And so I did that, and then I worked there through the winter this year, and then that was really tough because. Dude, I mean, you wake up 6, 8 inches of snow on the ground. You know, you go to work. I'm off by 4 or 5 o'clock. You ain't doing shit outside, so I can go to the bar. But no, yeah, keeping the balance is tough. I'm still learning it, you know. And like this weekend, you know, it was funny. I took a 3-day weekend. Well, not even weekend. I took off from Sunday to Tuesday. And last week, you know, I've been going. When I first got here, I worked 21 days straight or something. I work all through Sundays, everything, the long hours or whatever. And then, you know, I've taken 1 or 2 Sundays off since I've been here. But last week I was struggling, man, like just mentally, physically. And, you know, Saturday came, day before I'm about to catch a flight, and like I'm already kind of starting to get checked out. And I was just struggling. Like my mind was everywhere. I wasn't able to stay in the game. I was doing really bad work, and like, I even texted the shop owner where I was at. I was like, hey, like, this roof, I did a really messed up roof right before I left. I was like, I said, I didn't put it back together. I said, let me do something Wednesday. I said, I wasn't it, and, but then I took 3 days off, and dude, today I just felt like $1,000,000, like a totally new person.
Well, I mean,
you gotta take time off.
You have to,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
you have to.
it was crazy. Like all day today, it was just a walk in the park, and just off of 3 days off.
Well, I think that's the definition of work-life balance.
Yeah,
it's work-life balance,
it's true,
and being able to hit that reset.
It is, and so when I was younger, I was a lot worse at it. I try to balance it more now, but when I was younger, I would go even crazier on it. But the older I've gotten, man, like, and I'm kind of guilty of it now, like chasing the dollar, but at the same time, man, it ain't all about that.
Yeah,
it really ain't.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, just trying to balance it all.
I think it's an extremely mature thing to be able to recognize, like at our age.
Yeah,
is because you see some of those people that like we've all been around that just seem so out of whack.
Yeah.
In a conversation, just like their day to day, because they don't do what you did, which was recognize, hey, I'm gonna take 3 days off.
Yeah, literally.
And they just wear themselves out where they're nothing.
And you hear people that say, I haven't taken a week off in 3 years. Like, what am I supposed to do? Clap for you?
Yeah, no, literally.
Yeah, like, no, that's not.
It's not healthy.
It's genuinely not healthy, And like I said, last week was just the whole week, really. And I don't know if it's because I knew this time was coming or what. I really don't think it was. Like, I was just out of it, man. Like, mentally, everything, And, in our trade, it's known these long days, long hours. And a lot of guys do resource to like substances and stuff, because our time is so limited when we work. But I stayed away from that my entire career, and I want to continue to do that, and but man, it can get tough.
Yeah,
it gets tough.
Well, yeah. If you're working till 9 or 10 o'clock,
really
that's
tough,
literal crackhead.
Well, last week, and like y'all saw that post, that I made, but I worked. I woke up. I had some stuff to do in Tyler at a shop I service down there in Tyler, Texas. That's about a 2-hour drive, and so I woke up at 6 to be there by 8, and had some stuff to do there. And then that customer came in. It was a car that had been there for a week already. And Josh, you know how insurance goes. Approvals can take a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
So his car had already been there for some time. And, he'd been stopping in, getting antsy about it. I was like, man, I said, I promise you your car will be done tomorrow, no matter what. Well, I worked until 3:30 in the morning to make sure his car was done, then drove 2 hours home. I slept in, but woke up at 9 and then went to work for a regular day. That's why I said last week was just a funk, man. It really was. But then a 3-day, like literally just 3 days. And, I went to visit my girlfriend and turned my phone off, didn't do anything, didn't talk, just relaxed, spent time with her. And I got back today and I was like, dude, this is great.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like I'm starting a new year, So.
That's like me. I've been down for a week and a half, and Greg needed me to put in some GFIs in the kitchen, and I was so excited just to put a damn wall out.
Yeah. Oh, literally.
I was so excited. I was like, I cannot wait. I mean, I know I always talk about I can't wait to retire and shit like that.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm thinking of hunting and fishing the whole time. But at the same time, I would drive myself absolute nuts if I didn't have something to keep me busy besides hunting and fishing. Honestly, you got to balance everything around.
For sure. For sure.
How have you been fishing at all lately?
No. So that's another thing. And when I go back to working at home in DFW, that I've checked off of my list this year is the hunting and fishing during work season. Obviously, I work to do that come off season, but when I was younger and working here, and like I said, I tried to in 2021, man, I could really push this till tomorrow. I'm gonna leave at 5 today, go to the lake. Then I get there tomorrow. Next thing you know, I'm a week behind or something.
Yeah.
Not literally, but it gets like that. And so my passion is still there, but if I'm being honest, there was a little bit of burnt outness that kind of started a little bit. Mainly after COVID, because I was doing it so much, and there's got to be a balance with it too. I mean, you can only hunt and do so much so many times and see the same thing so much,
right,
you know?
Right.
And so, and I mean, even at that, we got to let our animals replenish as far as pigs go.
Yeah. As far as pigs go in Palapinta County, Oscar is a menace.
Yeah. You know, I think in, like, that ranch that I'm hunting on now, we started hunting in 2020, and from September 2020 until March, and that's about when we kind of stopped that year. We killed something like 330 something pigs. And
that's helicopter numbers.
That is helicopter numbers. But it was ridiculous, dude. I mean, it was, you know, because we don't even have crops out there.
Is that just rifle and blind?
No, that's just thermals. That's all thermal. Yeah, those were our thermal numbers.
I thought y'all had some wheat fields down there.
We have 2 wheat fields there.
Okay,
but majority of the stuff, like the wheat fields are so on and off there, you know? A lot of it is just pasture and, you know, like we're scanning, like, you know, I've taken Rudy out before and it's like, dude, we're scanning through trees. We're, you know, like me and Rudy, we got on a group by walking and we were walking the Brazos actually. Yeah. And, you know, we're scanning. There's so many rocks out there and stuff. So that really hurts thermal hunting. And we're scanning and I'm like, dude, I think there's a pig to the left of us right now. And I say, I'm talking like 20, 30 feet to the left of us. And he's like, it's not a rock. I'm like, no, like, look at it, you know, look at it. He's looking, and then, I don't know, it smelled, heard, whatever, something, frickin' pig pops up, you know, right there. Yeah. And he shot, and then, like, 15 others right behind him. We literally stocked up on a sleeping group of pigs.
What's one thing about pigs? One thing about pigs, if there's one,
yeah,
there's more.
They're always everywhere, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But I hunt in so many different ways at night. It's fun just doing it out of the truck and scanning and doing that. But I like I said, you can only do so much hunting wise, especially with pigs. Obviously, I don't have a freaking helicopter, like that, you know.
Soon to be.
Yeah, so
RCRL helicopter.
I try switching it up a little bit, especially when I take friends out and stuff. Like I like it to be a good time. I like there to be some kind of rush to it, something different than they've ever done, you know. So
spot and stocks always can be fun with people that aren't used to it.
Exactly,
it's so much fun.
It is. So. You know,
they're like, I didn't know my heart could beat that fast.
Why am I shaking? Why am I shaking?
How did we not know there was a pig 20 foot away from us?
Literally.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's different.
Aoudad too. You've been slaughtering some aoudad in Palapinta County too, right?
Tried to, man. It's another one of those things.
You shot a hammer.
Shot a hammer.
I was, and I'll admit this. I was hounding Oscar for a little bit. I'm like, hey, can I get a guy out to go aoudad hunting? Because one of my buddies was like, hey, I want to go shoot an aoudad, and I was like, I think I know a guy. But it's one of, like, I love what y'all do out there though, which isn't just anybody can come shoot an aoudad, because a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And then
Oscar walked into my room. Yeah. I got a 30-inch aoudad sitting on my wall. He's like, yeah, we got yearlings out there about the same size.
But Oscar, talk about like what like y'all's program was out there, rather than just, hey, get somebody out shooting aoudad, and like, and next thing you know, you got a dozen rams down a year.
For sure. So PK, obviously, the ranch we hunt is right below the spillway, and the lake itself is loaded, but a lot of Palo Pinto County is loaded with aoudad as well. They stretch out further than PK. They go all the way up to Graham. People have shot and seen them in mineral wells. You know, they've kind of scattered out a lot. We have a lot of, and like a lot of the animals we have on that ranch, we have a lot of residents, you know, like we call them. And so we have a few groups, you know, in the, just say 5 to 15 range. We have a few in the, 15 to 30 range, and then I have seen almost as much as 50 before. I'm guessing the biggest group I've ever seen was 50. I don't know if they merge or what it is, but kind of our thing out there. So use kind of free take, we'll shoot them kind of year round and stuff, and we have rams that come through periodically, and there's a few young rams that kind of stay within these resident groups and whatnot. But our big thing to get the big rams, to see the big rams, because like I said, they're all in that Brazos River Valley, and they're all over the lake. And but aoudad rut, and this is September to mid-October or so, is when it really cranks up, and they're just moving, And so we'll have something, we'll have 3 to 5 rams just that we've never even seen before show up within that week, And
gold star ram.
And so last year I wasn't here to hunt the aoudad rut last year, but a very good friend of mine, he killed a 34-inch ram out there, and then another one killed a 33 out there.
Holy
yeah,
moly.
and so
I mean,
giants. Yeah, so. And we've potentially seen some 36 inches out there before.
That's massive.
You know, on cameras and whatnot. Yeah, and they're tricky too. You know, the residents. You know, it's a working ranch. There's full-time workers, working cattle ranch, and so some of the resident groups. And when I say these groups, they're mainly ewes. You know, just a bunch of females in there, and they're different though, because you'll catch them on a skittish day sometimes, and then I've literally had them. They're very curious. They will literally walk up to you at times, just wondering what the hell you are.
That is the weirdest thing, because every person that I've ever talked to about an aoudad is like, same thing. They're either super skittish or they're super curious on like what you are and stuff. Because the one that I killed, nobody has ever believed my story about me shooting him in the cotton field, and he was just looking at me. I mean, the whole time I spot and stalked him from 1,000 yards almost, and walked up 150, 200 yards,
and he saw you. Their eyesight's insane.
I mean, he was looking at me the whole time. I was walking, and I didn't even try to hide myself or anything like that. He just sat there and looked at me.
No, they're crazy. You know, I've had some, you know, as soon as they see, I mean, just a flicker of movement, they're out.
Gone.
Yeah, they're out. Their eyesight is just insane. But then I've had them, I took a friend of mine to kill a ewe out a few years ago and shot it with a rifle, actually. And this was like March or something. So I'm like, all right, we got a little time till the rut. Yeah, I go take a ewe out, because the ewes actually eat really well. The rams I'm not a fan of, but
I agree.
The ewes eat very well.
Yeah.
And
make a sweet pillow too.
yeah, right. And so but yeah, so you know, we shot this ewe or whatever, and the group kind of took off, and so we went and tracked it, found it, and we're sitting there and taking some pictures of it or whatever, and starting to hear some rocks clink or whatever. I'm like, man, I think there's some pigs coming around or something, because one of the spots that is that we have the most residents at is a spot we call Cliff Top, and it's one of the highest points of PK or on that ranch, and they just live up there, you know, and I mean, they're up there every single day, you know, and we have some kind of all throughout the ranch, but that spot, I can guarantee an aoudad every single time we go up there, you know, no matter what the conditions are, you know, whether we have to walk around in stock, whether we, you know, sit over a feed or whatever it may be, they just live up there. But yeah, we're up there, and there's some, you know, fawns in it or whatever you call a baby aoudad, and I literally thought we were going to get charged, because we're sitting here around this dead aoudad, and I start hearing some rocks, and next thing you know, I start hearing charging, and then there's the same group that we just shot at. They're all right back, and they're just staring at us, just I mean, just locked on 40 yards away. I'm like, dude, we're about to get charged.
Yeah.
I don't know if they think we got a baby.
Do you have a bow when you're out there with them?
What? So that one was a rifle. The ram that I took in 2021 was with the bow. Yeah,
that was a hammer.
And
what did that one score?
That one was 28 on one side and like 27 and a half on another. So it wasn't crazy, but it had almost a 31-inch spread. It was just a very wide aoudad. It didn't curve, you know, crazy. Tight, and we had that aoudad. We thought it was around the 7.5 range. Now the 34-inch. The 34-inch that they killed, we had at around 11.
Holy moly.
And like looking at an aoudad, so like a respectable free-range aoudad trophy sheep will sport horns in excess of 27 inches. And like really you hit that 30-inch mark. That's a big aoudad.
Yeah,
that's a big aoudad.
Yeah, it's apparently a bone and crockett up to, or from 28 or 27 and up. It's like considered a bone and crockett aoudad. Sure. So, I can't remember what it is. Is that what it is? 20? You said 28?
So like record of exotics is what they go through, and it's 28 and up is like, then you start to get into the star system.
I got you.
Is there a bag limit on those?
There is. No, so they're 100% exotic. And so I want to say...
You just go wild on them?
Yeah.
You shoot them at night.
I want to say...
Oscar stabbed one. I watched him. He tackled one
by the back legs. And, no, yeah, they're 100% exotic. They're actually an African animal. They're from Africa, but supposedly they've been around PK, I mean, almost since as long as it's been around. I mean,
as long as I've been a kid.
Yeah, there is a whole population of aoudad there on PK, you know, so it's kind of its own little hidden gem. It's crazy. But like I would say Aoudad, especially with the bow, but in general, is definitely one of the toughest animals to kill as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, a trophy, like the one that Trevor killed, that 34-inch, I mean, we think easily over 300 pounds.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
the one I killed,
Big old boy.
maybe 250, you know, ish or so. But they're big animals. But like I said, they're an African animal. And so, like a lot of African animals, their vitals sit very high up, almost well behind the shoulder, you know. So everyone says, you know, for a deer, shoot behind the shoulder or, you know, right behind it in the crease. And Aoudad, you want to go like from that leg straight up.
Yep.
And so with the bow, you have to take that quartering shot.
Or else you're hitting that shoulder blade.
Yeah, because those vitals are right behind the shoulder blade, so you have to go in on that quartering shot and up. You know, you want to hit that opposite shoulder blade almost, you know, or aim at the opposite shoulder blade, you know.
That's what pissed me off the most is you got that hell of a ram with a bow, and I shot mine with a rifle. I was pissed.
And
I
so,
was like, man, that would have been so much cooler on a bow hunt.
But man, they're tough, and I'll tell you one thing. Like the first Aoudad I ever killed was a ewe with my bow. And
What's a ewe?
A ewe is a female. Yeah, female Aoudad. And so, believe it or not, that Aoudad took 4 arrows.
Holy
and
moly.
This is before I knew kind of where. This was back in 2000 I think 18, I want to say. And before I knew really much about him, anything at all, I was at a buddy's ranch in kind of near Ranger, Palo Pinto County, and right there on the border of Stevens and Palo Pinto. But yeah, the first Aoudad kind of came out like, dude, let me shoot this thing.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
Put this on the ground and walk up to it.
Yeah, so I shot and it was like smoked it. And I was like, it was perfect, like perfect shot. And thought nothing of it. I'm like all hyped up and everything, and you know, waited till he got there, and we went and tracked it, and blood everywhere. I'm like, dude, this thing's down, and just keep following blood, and it never stopped. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, we're like 300 yards into this thing, and like I haven't seen an Aoudad yet. And we're going, and then sure enough, it's there. We see it up against a tree, and it's just laying there with its head up and everything. I'm like, well, what the hell? And so I put a plan together, and I go to the other side of it, and I put an arrow on the other side, and it stands up. The first arrow was still in it, and it stands up, and it's got 2 arrows sticking out behind the shoulder.
Resilient.
And yeah, and I'm like,
dang.
what's going on right now, you know? And
Some
so it
tough
got
animals.
up, and it took off, and you know, this is a female. I mean, this is 150 pound, like this isn't a big ram, you know? And so it got up, and then it ran almost like nothing. It had a limp to it, but I was like, what's going on? And I'm shooting this thing like a deer behind the shoulder. You know? And so then, next catch up to it, put a 3rd arrow in it, same spot, same thing happened. And then by this point, we're probably over 2 hours into tracking this thing, because after it ran the second time, the first time, we had to find it again. And so found it, and then after the 3rd arrow, it went into a pond, and because it was summertime, we were hunting for pigs, and I was sitting over a pond, and it actually made a giant circle, went into the pond that it was originally in. And by this time, I'm Googling where the hell to shoot an Aoudad. No, I mean, literally, I'm like, what is going on, you know? And, so I saw a diagram. Yeah, sure shit, freaking vitals are way up. And so it was in this pond, and I did a quartering shot, and it tried running out, and then, it just died right there.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy you say, like, it kind of, because it went to water.
Yeah.
So, like, if you shoot an animal, if, like, for instance, if, like, you shoot far back or just hit it in a odd place, no vitals, one of the their first instincts is to go to water because they think that just something's wrong. I mean, you got like us, we get a tummy ache and we want to go drink a ginger ale. Like an animal is very similar in that aspect, but the native name for an Aoudad is a Barbary sheep, northern Africa. Yeah.
So they're
That's
African.
crazy.
Where's Neil guy? Is that India?
Neil
Neil
guy,
guy,
both from
Asia, I think.
Asia.
Yeah,
I thought it was
think
King
they're
Ranch.
Asian animal.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, like that's funny you say that because they're like whenever I got it on a high fence place, this like a scimitar oryx, they were put on the endangered species in Africa because there was more oryx in the state of Texas than there were in Africa.
I believe
heard
it.
that.
Have you seen how many oryxes all over West Texas and
shit,
South
y'all wanna know a
Texas?
fun
I mean,
fact
they're
about
all over.
tigers?
Man, they're
Some of those hyphens, and obviously, like the
You know the
audite and
tiger
everything
fact?
else, they
What's-
just get out, you
Yeah.
know. And so I saw actually
Hold-
funny recently
hold for
that
it.
there was,
We'll
I
bring it
guess,
back.
666 is starting to divide their ranch up in
Yeah.
some areas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
they're splitting too, I think.
yeah, and so I saw it for sale, and yeah, there's a picture of like freaking group of 50 oryx on there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's insane, man.
Yeah, they only want I think Taylor Sheridan bought it, but I think for a while they only wanted 143 million or something.
Oh, that's
Only-
something close to that for just
Yeah.
half of
I mean,
it.
Take out a personal loan.
Chump
Yeah.
change.
That's it.
It's chump change.
Yeah, we write a check, right, Josh? What's our
Y'all got 2
hold
years
on, let me-
bank
RCRL
what's our bank
credit limit?
account? Yeah, what's our credit limit on this?
Hey, if some of y'all would start listening to our podcast a little bit more, we'd have a little bit more money.
Yeah, we'd take y'all
gonna make
out
merch.
on the 4.6s, okay?
Yeah, but no,
Be
yeah.
considerate.
What's all
Nilgai
that
are
taste like?
an Asian animal, like the axes. Axes are actually from Asia
Yeah.
as well.
Oh.
And so
I
with
actually didn't know
with
that.
that being said, Nilgai behind axes is some of supposedly the best meat that you can
Agreed.
have.
My
Yeah.
dad has said it's
Agreed.
the
Yeah,
best.
Nilgai is supposedly insane, like axes. You know.
What's
I-
crazy also, sorry, I didn't mean
no,
to
you're good.
interrupt.
You're good.
But my dad and his buddies, they used to go on a nilgai hunt down at the King Ranch every year.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad told me, I don't know if this is true or not, but nilgai poop in the same place for at least a month at a time. And so that's where they would hunt, on a pile of poop.
Really?
Which is
I-
crazy.
I
Kinda-
believe
No shit.
that.
I watched that on a Blue Gabe video.
Yeah.
Like last week, he said the same thing.
Yeah.
I
They literally-
believe that.
They poop in the same place for like a month at a time or longer. It's
Really,
weird.
just
Yeah.
their pooping
Just
grounds.
piles of shit.
Yeah,
It's just one
but
little-
they're hard as shit to
Yeah.
find and stuff. My dad said it was a
So they're-
beating. They never, only one of his buddies ever killed a nilgai, and he
Really?
always just
Yeah.
shot javelina while he's there because he
Yeah.
said they were just too tough.
Yeah. There's Port Mansfield, which is just down south on the coast there from the King Ranch.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I've never heard that. I'm sitting there and I'm like, if you think about it, they're kind of like humans.
yeah, you got your designated toilet you love.
Yeah, it's like I'm if I'm comfortable, I'm going to my pooper that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah, dude, if there's
Sure.
a short toilet, I'm hitting that one every time. I got little legs, all right?
You don't hunt bedding areas, you hunt pooping areas.
Yeah.
Meal guys.
That's crazy, though, thinking
yeah,
about
it's their
it.
bathroom.
Wow.
Well, what's an all dad taste like?
And
In comparison.
man, okay, so yeah,
Good question.
so a ewe, I killed the ewe and ate a ewe before I even killed mine. Actually, I tried one that a buddy had killed, but I thought it was very comparable to venison. It was pretty, a little on the tougher side, but for the most part, very comparable to venison. Now, a big ram, they stink. I mean, like a
Oh,
big,
yeah.
like a big
Ugh.
pig. And I don't know if it's because I've only been around rams during the rut, if that's a rut type of thing,
Pee on their
but
hocks or
yeah,
something, yeah.
but man, they are some very stinky animals. So with that being said, so the ram I killed, took the straps off, took the hindquarters off, and took the tenderloins off. And I went, and pretty shortly after, I was out hunting with a friend, and I brought some backstrap with us, and from the Aoudad, and just butterflied them, did the usual, kind of like I did the ewe before, and like you do venison, and it was just a quick camp dinner, and yeah, I took my first bite of it, and tougher, which I was expecting, but it tasted. I had that taste how it smelled,
Oh, yeah.
in my mouth. Like
Yeah.
I had it, and I couldn't tell. I was like, I don't know if I'm just tweaking right now or what's going on, and I said, like, do you taste that? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's tough, but it's good. I don't know if it's just because I had that smell in the back of my head already, but
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
I knew what it was, but they had no idea, But
Well, it's like
I was-
like a smell is like just one of your most acute senses.
Yeah.
and,
Oh,
and like
absolutely.
smells can relate to memories, and
Absolutely.
whenever you're sitting there tasting something, your
Think back on
your
it,
s-
like,
your
oh my
your
God.
sense of that smell is gonna just trump that taste.
So I
Yeah,
was like,
that
man.
was me. Whenever I killed that ram, I had no idea anything about an aoudad at the
Yeah.
time, and the ranch hand pulled up, and first off, couldn't believe I shot it in a cotton field, and then I caped him out. And when I was caping him out, he said, "You might as well just toss the meat or take it into town and see who will want it." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Really?" He
Yeah.
was like, "They're not good."
Yeah.
He said, "Hell no." He said, I killed one couple months ago, and the dogs wouldn't even eat
Yeah.
it. And I was like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. So
And I know what you're talking about when the smell, because whenever I
rank.
got him over to camp, I was like, something ain't right. This smells like a pig over here.
But to that point, though, everything is as good as the cook that's cooking it.
It's true.
I agree.
No, it's
I
true.
agree.
100%.
Are you saying he's a bad cook?
No,
No, it could be.
Oscar's
He's a
not
bad
saying
cook.
that.
No, it could be.
What-
Oscar
well,
shit,
yeah.
more
I
like-
mean, it sounds like he cooked the backstrap just like I would. So
Well, it was also at that time too. It was very fresh. Like that was a week and a half.
Yeah.
No, it was the next weekend. I think when I cooked it, I hadn't even froze it yet. It was in
Yeah.
my cooler, which it was cool.
Oh,
It was on
yeah.
ice the whole time, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't tried a ram since.
Yeah,
You know,
well-
I still have meat from it.
Yeah.
You know, I had a friend who killed it last year. He went and he just got summer sausage and burger made out of his because he had kind of the same experience. He killed a ram the year before and wasn't a fan of it, so he just got summer sausage and burger made out of it. I mean, it tastes like summer sausage and burger,
Yeah.
you know. So,
Well, in Audad, my opinion, like, because whenever I've cooked it before, like, I mean, I'm not a chef by
Yeah.
any means, but it's like a 7.5-year-old mid-rut whitetail.
yeah, oh for sure,
That's what it tastes like to me.
yeah, for sure.
If you were just to slap it on like a pan sear and
Yeah.
like just salt and
Yeah.
pepper.
Yeah.
You know, actually, I think I'm lying because when I went to OHIV with J Hall, I think I brought some backstrap. Actually, that time, but I just seasoned the shit out of it. I remember that. Yeah.
Tony Sack.
Yeah.
Tony Sack.
Tony Sack.
Back to episode
Yeah.
1, RCRL.
There's never
Is
too
there-
much
is-
Tonys.
Yeah,
on
there's
freaking
never too
strap.
much Tonys on nothing.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're crazy animals. They really are, and like they have a mind of their own. The ranch I hunt, they hate them, you know, because
Yeah.
like a lot of goats, they tear fences up, they trample stuff, they eat stuff down to the nub, you know. That area cliff top where I was telling you on that ranch, like I said, they're residents up there. We don't get any deer up there. We don't get any pigs up. They're up there because
Dude, it's such
you
a
know,
beautiful
but-
spot though.
Oh
Dude,
yeah, it's a
PK
beautiful, yeah.
is some beautiful country.
Yeah.
Well, down
it
by the
really
dam
is.
over there,
Yeah.
like me and J Hall,
Mm-hmm.
we fished at that one. There's that big, just like mini lake tank over there,
Oh yeah, yep.
and like you're sitting there fishing, and it's like, like you were just in a different world. It's
Yep.
so beautiful.
It is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I kept. This is like whenever I first kind of like realized there's a bunch of audad out there.
Yeah.
I kept like sitting there fishing, like looking up, just like hoping for an audad
Yeah.
just to like perch up. And,
So that cliff on the edge of that lake that you were fishing, there's a big cliff on it, and I guess on the south side of the lake, and big giant cliff. I killed my ram just on the top.
That's
of
so
it.
awesome.
Yeah, and then but
That is sick.
maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks before that, there was no audad on top of that cliff. They were, and like I said, when that rut comes around, man, they just show up. The rams do.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of come out of the woodworks, but that cliffside too, it's pretty blocked by the sun. So in the summertime, they have the water there, and they will just, I mean, they'll be stacked on that freaking cliff. They're really cool animals. They really are. And they can run up. I mean, like a lot of goats, straight up in a heartbeat. I mean, I've seen them spook before, and they are just up and gone within seconds. You know,
They are
so-
nothing but muscle.
oh, straight muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they're
you
giant.
said they were tough.
Yeah.
Like you're
Oh,
saying,
they're giant.
I probably went through 3 or 4 knives just caping mine out.
Oh yeah,
It was
it's
insane.
ridiculous.
Like just nothing that compares to that animal compared to like a whitetail or mule deer that I've caped out.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Have you ever seen them fight before?
No,
my
but I
goodness.
have seen. I've seen videos, and they
yeah,
are.
I've seen
they're
videos. Yeah, I've never
brutal.
seen one in person.
Yeah.
You always know when the groups come because they're very aggressive, you know, and like they're corn hogs, like almost like pigs, you know, and you know when they're all under the feeder, they're knocking each other and stuff. No, these things go and they like hook their horns and freaking run them up their
Yeah.
guts, you know. So like,
Dang.
especially during the rut, dude, that ram that I killed with fresh scars and old scars all over. I mean, they were just completely covered. Also, something crazy on that ram. That was October. It wasn't even the summer months yet, but completely covered, like it had wallowed in mud. Like I had to clean it up for pictures. And
it's
stuff.
so cool though.
Yeah.
Whenever they get all that caked mud
Oh
on
yeah,
there,
I
and
mean
it looks
completely
like
caked.
a lot
but,
of
the
character.
the base of his
Yeah.
horns completely caked with mud. You know, his bottom, his beard, everything was just completely caked. And don't know if they're like pigs and don't sweat, so they depend on wallowing.
Right.
I'm not sure. Maybe I've been looking at aoudad wallows and I'm like, that's a 300-pound pig. It's just a giant ram, But
which that is true. They get up there. I think mine was right at 270 something.
Yeah,
it was
big
just,
animals.
I could not believe it.
Pigs don't sweat?
No, they don't sweat. That's why
I never knew that.
Yeah,
That's
pigs
why they
don't
put
sweat.
wallers.
Yeah, that's why they're so big on ponds and wallers and stuff. And yeah, they don't sweat. So.
All 10 years of my life just clicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, literally. So.
That's the reason why on a hot summer day you can usually go to a water hole
in the middle of the day.
Middle of the day,
yeah.
there'll be a pig somewhere.
There will be.
Well, what kind of gear are you going out there with?
Gear as far as with so
Sponsored by Pulsar.
Yeah, right. Sponsored by Pulsar. So rifle wise, I love hunting with the 308. Now shooting pigs, I've kind of had this thing lately because the AR I used to always roll with was a 308. And this goes, I'm talking about pig hunting right now. Was a 308, and I loved it, and I still do. But ammo's just a little expensive for it,
Yeah.
Especially my gun, my 308, it's a little finicky on the ammo, so I have to run some high price ammo. So I'm shooting like $2 a round, so emptying out a 20-round mag,
Gets
20-round
a
mag.
little cost.
It's like
goes quick.
there's $60 right there,
I'm about to go work half a day, damn it.
But at the
pigs are
same
getting
time,
expensive.
the 308 is such a flat shooting round, and some of those fields, like I said, I hunt a lot of other places besides PK, and a lot of times, especially once you go suppressed, these pigs, they don't know where these shots are coming from. So a lot of times over in the middle of the field, they don't immediately go for cover when you're suppressed. And so with that being said, you'll get, after a lot of times, like you'll do the initial 4 or 5 shots while they're close, and then you just kind of let off. And then they'll kind of stop and be like, what's happened? But with that being said, they'll also be 250, 300 yards out. That 308 just shoots so flat.
Yeah.
And, I've done running shots. My furthest running shot was at 336 with the 308.
That's so much fun to watch them roll.
I didn't even think, but it's so satisfying with the suppressor, too, because it's just like you hear the shot, you hear the pause, and then thump, and then a squeal way out. It's so satisfying.
Yeah, you're probably shooting a freaking 2x4 out of
Yeah,
what is it, 180 grain?
Yeah, so I shoot 150s out of it. Okay, but so the 308 though, man, you can hit these pigs damn near anywhere, and they are gonna feel it. They are gonna just drop. Whether you hit them in the back legs, you're gonna blow a leg out. You're gonna do something to make it at least stop. And so I hunted with that for a while, but then within the last 2 years, I went to 7.62 by 39. Still a great round. It's way cheaper. You can get ammo anywhere for it, and it's a good round, but it's not very accurate once you get to those longer distances, and it's not very flat. But also when it comes to those running shots, I mean, you gotta dome them. You gotta hit them good. Like you're not gonna hit a pig in the gut or running or in the gut or in the back leg. Like it's just gonna keep going. They eat those rounds up. Pigs are real tough too, obviously.
Yeah, them things are some of the toughest animals.
Well, pigs cause a lot in damage a year.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Dude.
I think it's around 2.5 billion?
Is that what it is? Is that what it says?
Pulled
Is
it
it
up on
acres?
Google.
Yeah.
Acres?
No, dollars.
Oh, dollars?
Yeah.
$2.5 billion a year.
Holy moly. Yeah, well,
damages alone.
I can't remember how much it is, but a group of like 10 or 15 pigs can ruin however many acres a
in
night.
Yeah. Oh, it's ridiculous.
Well, and
It's crazy.
Spending over $100 million a year to just reduce
Yeah.
the amount of how much they
So
fuck up.
Yeah.
more or
So
less.
we have to kill some, as of now, to get the pig population under control. We have to kill.
Sisters over there.
Are y'all done yet?
Texas A&M, they did a study a few years ago, and we have to kill somewhere around 70% a year just to get the population under control for the next like 4 to 5 years. And right now we kill and trap somewhere around 16%.
Oh, I know.
Ridiculous
It's
like
insane.
that, I think the most effective way to drop these numbers has obviously been helicopters. I've hunted places.
Thank God for
for
Ted Nugent.
Yeah, thank
gonna
God for
say,
that.
Ted
But
Nugent used to be in
I've
my
hunted
hometown.
places, months after a helicopter's gone through, and I mean, I'll go a night without seeing anything, So those helicopters really do some serious damage, And I'm not talking about the paid guys that go out. I'm talking like the professionals that go out and they'll for pig control, and they'll just mow them down. You know,
Yeah.
not the guys that
Still
pay
six
to.
of pigs.
Yeah, you know. But yeah, the amount of damage they do is crazy, and like you think about these, you know, that dollar amount. I mean, it's true. I've hunted fields after like they plant corn, you know, for the first of the year in the springtime, and you know, obviously you have your discs that go down these fields and everything. There will be thousands of straight lines where these pigs will get their nose in and just walk and just eat every piece of corn that goes down, and then I mean that field's done, you know, literally,
absolutely.
and they will do an entire freaking field.
Well,
And it's nuts because we used to hunt in West Texas over in Turkey, and there'd be people that would pay for helicopter hunts every year, or I think it was every year, every other year, but they would shoot anywhere from 200 to 300 pigs a day, and we wouldn't see pigs for a week. But after that week, it was they were right back like they were.
They're right back.
It's insane how fast they repopulate. And
that's the thing about that PK place is obviously we have the lake there, but the Brazos, especially right there below the dam, it's so wide, it's so deep. I mean, there's endless water, and like a lot of animals, they just travel that river, you know. So, you know, we could go, and you know, that's kind of what we've been doing the last 2 years, and we'll hunt it hard when they're big and fat. You know, we'll hunt them hard after season from January to March or so, and then the past 2 years, we've just let summertime just kind of let them replenish because we know we have the water. You know, we have a freaking 80-acre lake on top of all the stock tanks and another 40-acre lake, like, and then obviously the Brazos running through. And so summertime, the last 2 years, we've just been letting them replenish because, like I said, when we first got there, the hunters were pig hunting, but not like that, you know.
Yeah.
And so that year that we killed over 300, I mean, we were hunting it heavy. You know,
well, it brings in a revenue too.
It does.
Like in Texas, like I'm gonna go on a quick little. Give me like 2 or 3 minutes. So like people that look at pig hunting as unethical, like we throw some statistics around, like $2.5 billion in damage
With a B.
Just from wild pigs.
Yep.
Like you just got to get rid of them.
Yep.
It's farmers. It's like food we're eating. It's important to attack a problem like that. And whenever you look at like the hunting industry as a whole, we're at $14.4 billion in revenue is what the state of Texas generates in revenue from just the hunting industry.
Yep.
Damn. I did not realize it was that. How much was it?
$14.4 billion in the state of Texas.
Holy moly.
It's crazy.
We got some dollars here.
Yeah, we got some dollars. You know, talking about the helicopters, those hunts ain't cheap. You know, they go by the hour. You know, and a lot of times, obviously, to now fuel and everything. I mean, you're looking
ammo.
Yeah, ammo, everything. I mean, you're looking over 2 G's a person. You know, per hour just for a freaking helicopter hunt. But not to mention all the thermal outfitters and everything going on now. Like, I mean, on the cheap end now, you know, used to you can go get a pig hunt for $200, $150. Now it's kind of that minimum. I feel like it's that $450 range, and then you go with some of these higher outfitters. Well, like, you know, High Plains hunts, they're out of Memphis, Turkey area, you know, and they're at like $5 something a person. You know,
Hey, you know,
I think our tax dollars should make residents.
You know what's crazy
for free.
to put into comparison is the hunting industry generates $14.4 billion, and so Texas oil and gas industry paid a record of $24.7 billion in taxes and royalties. I mean that's a lot of money, you know. Like, whenever you compare it to hunting,
crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That
I
is
never even thought about
a hobby
that.
to
Crazy.
what we run off of.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
That's nuts. I never even heard of
What was
that.
the fishing industry? Wasn't it like $6 billion?
fishing industry is
up
like
there.
compared to it's minimal, but it's definitely in the
still-
B's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
with
like
a damn
that's
bee in it.
that's worth the Google. And but like outdoors in general, and like you look at like just kind of us and like what we do, just it's something that we've always done for fun. But when you look at the state of Texas as a whole, like it's given it's Texas Parks and Wildlife, like it runs the state.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
does.
in a sense.
Yeah,
It's
it
ridiculous.
really does. That's the reason why I just said, our tax dollars should qualify us residents as a free helicopter ride every year.
Some kind of
Let's write a letter after this,
dude.
all right?
Yeah, we need
some
that.
kind of exemption.
Oscar, what's the biggest? You said how many did you shot last year?
Oh man. That was 2021. We killed
okay.
like 330 or something ridiculous like that.
So and that number was your biggest one yet?
That our
Or, like, your
biggest
biggest
that year
size?
off of PK was at 316.
What was the
so
biggest one you've shot?
biggest I've killed was 321, I think, and that was in Ranger, not far from PK actually.
Damn.
I've never broke 350. That's like obviously a goal. I've had pigs on camera before, and I took some friends out last year, complete non-hunter friends, which I love doing that.
That's so much
and
fun.
I think that they missed potentially one of the biggest pigs I've ever seen before. And it's hard to judge size and thermal.
Yeah.
But when I've seen hundreds, if not thousands, of pigs through thermal, and when I know, the shape and everything of this pig was just absolutely ridiculous. And this wasn't at PK. This was up on the Red River up in northeast Texas. But yeah, and a lot of guys too, not far from me. When I say not far, I mean like 3 miles from me. I know one of my quote unquote neighbors that killed one just under 400, but didn't have nuts, And so there's a lot of hog doggers, especially when you get up to that East Texas, Northeast Texas range. And I love it. I've only killed one. You call them a bar hog. So that's whenever a trapper or a dogger will catch this pig and they'll cut the nuts off. And like dogs or anything, when you neuter them, they just get fat and lazy and they just eat, So, but yeah, I've never killed a big giant over like that 350. That's the goal,
Did you see the Wise County competition this year?
Was it this year or last year over 400?
It was last year, 2022.
Yeah.
It was 459.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It's a big
boar.
old pig.
Nuts
And it
intact.
still had nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nuts intact.
Still had
yeah.
nuts.
There were some big pigs last year.
That is massive.
It
Yeah,
is
it's
insane. Oh,
And
look.
I heard it was. That's what doesn't make
insane.
sense about that pig. Like,
Insane.
Oh, what's
I
the
was trying
payout
to-
on that?
Huh? $77,000.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out.
kinda-
I couldn't
it's
remember
kinda
the
built like
numbers, so I had to
sturgeon.
look it up.
Yeah,
but
See if he watches these episodes.
Jordan Sturgeon.
Kind of built
if
like
you-
Jordan. A little bit.
like Jordan. Oh
Well,
man.
pigs are the hardest thing in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
after you get to know them,
Yeah.
like
They're smarter
to-
than people think.
Well, to judge
Jordan, too.
judge their size,
Yeah.
just looking at them.
Well, they're
What did
like.
you just say?
So that's what they say about Jordan.
They're smarter than you think.
Well, they're a lot like. Size-wise, they're a lot like humans. They really are. They're all built different. They're all different fat, layers of fat, everything like that. So, I've killed some pigs before that I'd say are just built like an absolute track star.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
yeah.
just long, lengthy. And the length and the height and everything of them has everything they need to get over 300 pounds, but only come in at like 220 or something like
Yeah.
that. But then I've killed some that are just short and fat, and I'm like, oh, that's a 200-pound pig or something, and then it comes in at like 270 or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
So so many factors come in, and what they're eating too, obviously, and time of year and
absolutely.
everything. But yeah, they're crazy. And also, this is kind of going back to Aoudad as far as bow hunting with pigs. So pigs are very similar to African animals. I had a very hard time killing pigs with a bow when I was younger, and because I would always go for that behind the shoulder shot.
Yep.
They're just like an Aoudad.
Yep.
They shit behind the shoulder. Their vitals sit behind that shoulder blade. So
Say they shit behind the
Yeah.
shoulder.
They shit.
Hey
right
guys,
behind their
crazy,
damn shoulder.
craziest thing
like
you
Neil
ever
guy, they shit behind the shoulder every time. But yeah, so as soon as I would kill, shoot at these pigs, and I would track them forever, and either never find them or find them, dress them out, and it's a liver shot.
Yeah.
But then as soon as I started taking those slightly quartered shots right behind the pit, 30. I killed a big boar in 2021. Yeah, so not last fall, the fall before, and it literally just walked us like a 10-yard circle. It didn't even run; it just walked and then just died right
Yeah,
there.
them things are
You know?
tough.
Yeah, they're tough. But as soon as I started doing, and you got to go. If you want the heart a little bit low, the lungs do sit up kind of behind that shield, but I always go for like that armpit slightly quartered. And dude, it's the heart. And like I said, that one was just such like a stress reliever. Like finally got figured out. Like that thing literally just walked in a circle and died.
Oh, yeah.
And it died right under my tree.
Shit.
So
Circling back to like all that, is there a way for like someone that doesn't know much. I mean, shit, I didn't really know much about them at all, but like for someone to get into it, go on their first aoudad hunt.
Man, so public land obviously is very plentiful in Texas. As far as PK goes, it's kind of far and few between. And then we have a lot of aoudad when you get out to that Big Bend area, you know, way, way far out west. But I know that there is some public grounds that you can hunt in the like Polidoro Panhandle area that have some really good aoudad.
You can put in for draws out there, too.
I believe so, yeah. So and that's beautiful country,
New Mexico, too.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, they're plentiful all in Texas, you know, and they kind of have their areas and whatnot, but they're starting to get a lot of high fence ranches have them, and like I said, their goats, they mess up fences. That's kind of a big thing with goats, and so they get out. I have some friends, actually, that I met last year in Wisconsin, and they come to hunt in Texas every year for a whitetail hunt, and they hunt in Sterling City, which is kind of going down towards San Angelo, and you get a lot of aoudad once, like I said, Big Bend is kind of going, it's further southwest of that San Angelo area, but yeah, they're in Sterling City and not really much sign. I mean, you don't hear of any aoudad coming out of there or anything, but when they were on their 5-day hunt, like they do every single year, they had an aoudad show up, and yeah, they killed it. It was like a 31-inch. I mean, it was a giant. It was a giant aoudad.
In my opinion, like looking at like aoudad hunts and honestly any hunt is like do if you're fresh into it and you don't got a lot of money, try to find a public land spot, because like now, like whenever I was guiding a 30-inch aoudad, you can get away with $1,500 hunt. Now you're not touching it for less than $3,500.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And like that's trophy itself, not stay. And it's tough looking in, but when you look at the revenue generated in Texas and like the companies and the high fence ranchers that like see competitors, like you just look at the progression of prices, like they're not going to drop anymore. And it makes it tough for
Especially
somebody
with
that
the
wants to go
excuse
kill
of
an
the
exotic.
Inflation nowadays.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, but like looking at how long these exotic ranches have been in Texas, that's why they're free range now, because a fence can only hold something in for so long.
Yeah.
And
Especially. Well, shit, Oscar, out of say aoudad and hogs mostly, is that your favorite thing to hunt, or do you got a certain?
Oh, pigs, 100%. I love the aoudad. Yeah, don't get me wrong. You know, don't get me wrong. Yeah, the aoudad are cool. But you know, I got that big ram, and
once you're there, you're there.
Once I'm there, I'm there. I personally haven't had much of a drive to go and try to kill a big ram lately. I've told myself it's going to have to be a true giant and really lay eyes on him. You know, I mean, what am I going to do with all that all around my room? You know, so I don't even, you know, I'm not a big fan of beating them or anything. So I've kind of done it. I love taking people out. Like I said, the ewes, I'll take anyone to kill a ewe, you know. On that ranch, we kind of have our own unwritten rule. The ranch itself actually wants us to just kill them all, you know. But kind of our unwritten rule between me and my 4 friends that are on that place, we keep it at one ram a year per person, you know. And so actually this year I have some guys coming down from Canada.
Nice.
You know,
No shit.
yeah.
Nice.
And we're gonna have them come down during the rut. I told them, I said it's gonna be a little more expensive. I'm not charging them for the hunt, but I said flight wise. But I said give me, you know, I'm gonna give you a 2 to 3 week, keep 2 to 3 weeks available in September to October, and I'm gonna let you know when it's really kicked on and when we got some big rams. They're coming down from Alberta, and I'm gonna switch my ram tag this year for a black bear hunt in Canada.
That's
this
so cool.
upcoming
Hell yeah.
That's so
yeah.
cool.
So
That
I'm
is
really excited
sick.
about that.
It's like looking at people that aren't from like our area. We got it so good here.
Oh, Texas
like,
is amazing.
Like what you just said. So my brother-in-law, his best friend Cody, he texted me. He was like, "Hey," he's like, "if you can get me on some pigs in Texas, I'll let you come up to Alaska and shoot a moose."
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
And I
Come
was
to my
like,
backyard. They're in Fort Worth.
and I was like, "What? That is not a fair trade-off. I got to get you on like 100 pigs to
Literally.
feel okay
A
to go
helicopter
shoot."
hunt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like for us, pigs. We can shoot here in Fort Worth. We can.
Hey, tell them I'll take the trade if you want.
Yeah, all right. I'll let them know.
I
I'll let
got
them know.
you.
Take him up on a random.
Hey, Cody, call me 817.
Yeah. But that says a lot about you, Oscar. That you're getting your friends from Canada.
Yeah.
And you're going out of your way to show them what you get to experience every day.
No,
That
literally.
is so cool. Yeah.
Literally. So, looking forward to that. Hoping it all works out. Because, at the end of the day, it's still hunting, And so, the aoudad I killed, it doesn't sound like a lot, but I hunted them total probably 7-8 days, or so. And so, if I knew it was the one I wanted, and it was wide, I was like, I want that dude so bad. I don't care what he scores. You just don't get a lot of really wide aoudad, like that. So, they're crazy animals, but Texas in general, going back to that, Josh, we are so freaking fortunate to have the hunting that we do here, and to be able to do it year round, when I worked in Wisconsin last year, that's all people want to talk about is pigs. I'm like, well, you got the right guy. I hope you know I'm not talking out of my ass. I am the pig guy.
So I did ask TDN, Team Dirt Nasty, and I said, what do y'all want to hear Oscar talk about on RCRL?
Oh, gosh.
And most of it I can't say on here.
Yeah.
But we got one from Mason. And Mason said, ask him about the black bear in Red River County.
Ooh, yeah. So that's that place on the Red River I was telling y'all about, where I seen probably the biggest pig I ever seen this 2 years ago or something. And so Red River County, as the crow flies, we're northeast of Paris in a town called Detroit. And as the crow flies, I'm probably 6 miles or so south of the Red River. Maybe closer to 10, but pretty close. Now, supposedly, Texas Parks and Wildlife back in 2011 or 12, released 8 black bears in Red River County.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And so,
why?
Because, you cross the river, Broken Bow's right there, all that. There's giant black bears all over. They can thrive in it, We get a little cooler weather up there, I always say it's about 5 to 10 degrees cooler up there. They just, big pines.
So it's only 95 there.
Yeah,
right
pretty much. Honestly, it is genuinely always cooler there, but man, so that black bear, so we had a bear show up, and this is the first time I showed up there for the year, because I don't really go out. Obviously, I work over the summer, so I don't get out there much. But I went out there late July, like every other year, to kind of start getting stuff ready and do some mowing or whatever. But the first thing I do when I get there is I go and hunt pigs. That's the first thing, because summertime in that place is actually crazy. Like, that's some of the best times to hunt that property is in the summertime, which is crazy because we don't have any stock tanks or nothing, but they are just everywhere there in the summertime. And so I get there, and I had two buddies with me. They were gonna come help me and stuff, and I was letting them hunt a little 30-acre tract that we own. And so I was like, yeah, come out here, help me, and for the next 2 weekends, and you can go hunt there for free this year. Yeah. And so anyways, they came out, and I took them to their stands, and by the time I get to my stand, it was 8:15. It was late, getting dark, but that was the plan. Stay 2 hours after dark, and literally, as I dropped them off and I'm walking to my place, both of them had already killed a pig, within the first 20 minutes of them being up there. I'm like, well, I still
solid hunt.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I still got my stuff to do. So they knew how to get back and everything by that time. And so I get up, I go to this tree stand, and really cool area where I always kill a lot, and it's kind of funny story. So I climb up this tree stand, and there is, for whatever reason, 2 black widows that made that stand home.
I'm wasting a bullet on that.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. So as much as I hunt and as much as I do everything outdoors, my biggest fear, and my girlfriend was actually asking me this the other day, what's one of your biggest fears? And it's snakes. I hate snakes. I know that's not you, Josh.
Spiders.
No, I genuinely hate snakes. I don't care what it is. I'm not a snake guy. And so no, it ain't it. And so spiders, whatever, widows, I don't really care too much for them. But I had 2 widows. So I'm like, fuck that. I'm not gonna sit up there. It's almost dark. Like I was like, it's almost dark. I know pigs are gonna show up any moment or whatever. And so I just sit. I had my bow, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna chill against this tree over here. I love ground hunting, and no big deal. And so I get up in the tree and actually didn't see anything or didn't have anything. I got ate alive by mosquitoes, and then I'm like, I'm gonna go see if the feeder's even thrown. So I go up to the feeder, and like there's no corn under there. Yeah. I'm like walking around. It had rained recently. And I'm like, this looks like a human. Like, why is there a crackhead running around here barefoot? Like I see under the feeder. I'm like, there's literally like a human track under a feeder, and I'm like looking around, like, holy shit, they're everywhere. Like this is crazy. And this was like pre-cell cam days, and we're so spoiled with that now. But so I like go to the game cam or whatever.
Pre-cell cam days.
Yeah. So
we're going to be back. We're going to be in like 2030 and looking back like, remember when we had to go and grab the SD card?
Literally. Literally. So like I went and, grabbed the card or whatever. And I genuinely thought this was a human. Like I didn't know. Like I just saw prints. It was dark. Actually, I was looking, maybe that's why I have like a red stabilizer light on my boat, and I was looking through a red light, so maybe it just looked off. But so go back and didn't even check the cards that night or whatever, and had my buddies pull the cards. And so next morning, wake up, and we went and got all the cards from everywhere and pulled them, and I put that one in first, and like first picture, freaking black bear on camera. And I'm like,
no way.
I'm like, and I'm talking, I spooked this thing off. Like this is what's so funny is the black widows were in the tree. I didn't think nothing of it. So I sat on the ground, and I'm talking, this bear was at that feeder 10 minutes before I got there.
And where is this?
This is in Detroit, Texas. So it's a little bit northeast of Paris. So from here, we could be there in, right at 2 hours, And so Texas,
pine trees.
No, a lot of oaks. We have some planted pines, but nothing crazy. Like a lot of oaks, a lot of acorns, like
I would think I was dreaming if I saw a black bear.
And so I'm like, I'm like,
should check myself.
I'm like, okay. And so I see that, and I'm like kind of stunned. I'm like, well, there was probably a black bear. It's all thick. I'm like legitimately within 200 yards of me this whole time. And I was sitting on the ground in the dark, like with my bow. I didn't even have a pistol or anything with me. And so I had no idea. And so start going through, and dude, this bear had been living on on our property for the last like month.
That's crazy.
And it's just pictures, and this is summertime, so I'm talking 100-degree days. It's at 2:00 in the afternoon, and it's standing. It just stands up, spins the feeder, this and that.
Oversized raccoons.
Yeah,
like I said, they steal
corn.
Then,
check the next camera. There he is on that one. Check the next one. There he is on that one, and then. So start going around. I think on that 300, we have 360 acres out there, and I have 7 set up. So quite a bit for out there, quite a few spots, but it's just me and my dad and grandpa that hunt.
Yeah. And that part of the country is so wooded.
It's so
thick,
matter. Dude. That place feels like 1,000 acres.
Yeah, right.
And so we don't have any pasture on there or nothing. I have permission to hunt a big ranch next to it, and that's where we do our thermals and stuff. But so check all the cameras, and it's everywhere, and then start going and checking feeders. You're gonna fill feeders and all that. And dude, there's motors ripped out, there's feeders tipped over. It's just this thing had been and it just started to show. I'm like, holy smokes, this is insane. And so that went on, and all the way up. That was July when that happened. He stayed up until about September, right before hunting season, and then just disappeared. And we haven't seen them.
Can you get a tag?
No, Texas Parks, and we looked it up and everything, and because I was curious, and so Texas Parks and Wildlife, they, like I said, they released 8 bears or something like that in Red River County, and I'm 100% protected.
It's a 400 pound raccoon running around everywhere.
And so there was
oversized raccoon.
Yeah, literally, and so there was one time that my sister and I. This was maybe right before it disappeared. Actually, we were. My little sister was out, and I was just taking her on a side-by-side run through the whole place or whatever. And it was hot. It was September, and we're just driving through, and we're kind of coming up what we call a tank. And when I say a tank, I was messing around on the tractor. It's maybe the size of this room here, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just a small little tank I dug with, like a hog wallow. I dug it with the front loader, like just messing around or whatever. But it actually holds water, and so it's a great hog wallow spot. Like that's what I made it for, and so the pigs use the crap out of it. And
Poor man's tank.
but yeah, so we were driving through middle of the day, and then we come up to this clearing where he tanks that frickin' bear's right there, and he takes off.
Oh, so you saw it?
Oh, I saw him one time in person with my sister
Holy
on the side by side.
moly.
Yep, saw him one time, and that is the one and only time I ever saw it. Other than that, it was just strictly camera.
Holy
Yeah,
That's
and I
crazy.
mean, but when I say he was gone, and when I say speed, like
zoom.
and granted,
Scary
there's woods all
speed.
around, but I mean, it was gone. I saw it for 2-3 seconds, you know. I
Holy
mean, not even
moly.
long enough to get a phone picture or nothing, you know. But she
Yeah.
saw it, I saw it, and then come bow season, it was gone. No pictures, no nothing. We don't know where it went. I'm pretty close with our neighbors that hunt a lease. They lease it like 1,200 acres of solid woods, and they had a few pictures of it. Only at one spot, and it was the spot closest to our property line.
So like you've been out there for a while, right?
Yeah.
So like looking at the like knowing that bear was around,
Yeah.
how do you think like did it affect
On-
what you've seen on camera? Like do you,
Honestly,
that
no.
year? Or?
I don't think so. No, because the biggest deer we killed out there was actually that year.
Huh.
Actually, yeah.
Damn.
I will say that year was a very, very that fall, late summer leading into fall was an extremely wet one. Like
Yeah.
we were flooded that whole year. I mean, we were in swamp the entire time. I never seen water like that. So I don't know if that drove the bear out. You know, I'm not. I wouldn't
Yeah.
imagine they like being wet. They're very furry and stuff. You know, and when I say that place was flooded, I mean all year it was just a complete swamp.
Damn.
And maybe that ran it out and it went higher ground, drier ground. I don't know. But yeah, I ain't seen nothing about it since.
Yeah,
you know?
I wouldn't see them like.
It was literally living there though, because every single camera all day, like we would have cameras, or we'd have pictures of it at one spot in the morning, this spot at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, lunch. I mean, it was just
He figured it out.
Yeah, he had it. But
Good
we
science.
leave our place so purposely because we just use it for hunting. We leave it so raw, you know, and we do not touch it. Like I said, summertime on it, we do not touch it at all. And you know, and those cameras pre-cell cam days, they would go all summer, you know, like
Those
batteries,
damn SD
like
cards.
you know, we would turn the sensitivity down, the pictures per minute, and all that, and you know, we'd put them in, and they would run all summer, you know, just about. We wouldn't have to touch that place, you know, put the feeders on 2 seconds, you know, fill them to the brim, and it would get us through the summer. So, yeah, it was a crazy sight to see.
That's wild.
All right, so
I'd have shit my
Something
pants.
About a mountain lion over in
we had
Canton.
one more from G-Bro.
Oh yeah,
What was it, Dakota?
Something about a mountain lion over in Canton.
oh yeah,
In Canton,
in
Texas?
Oh,
Oh, in Athens?
yeah, it was
A mountain lion in Athens?
A mountain lion in Athens.
Holy
yeah.
shit.
So what I'm
Oh.
gathering, Oscar, is you've just seen every big game animal in the state of
Seen a
Texas.
lot.
On accident.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But
Besides
I-
the
Yeah.
elusive jackalope.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the amount of time. So, like, we were talking about the whole work balance and everything, and like the way I work when I do. But when I'm hunting, and like I work and bust my ass all through summertime to do nothing but like hunt when I want in the fall, winter, and spring, you know. And so, yeah, that was the mountain lion. I can show y'all pictures of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Chesney real quick.
we do. I have a really good friend of mine who I kind of grew up with. My uncle's a very big hog dogger. I grew up hog dogging with him, and one of his good friends, Rigo, he's out of like the Palestine, Athens area, and the traditional way to hog dog and how I grew up doing it was with the cur dogs, and you know they go out and they find the pig, and you know they bay it up, and we go in with the catch dog, and you're going all through vines and doing the whole thing, which is fun. I love it. But the new way that with thermals and everything now is so we actually hunt with greyhounds. And so we'll go and we'll run 2 greyhounds or staghounds, and we'll scan these fields as if we're gun hunting all night. And when we see a pig or a group of pigs, we bring these stags in and we lead them to the pigs. We get them about stalk on them, walk quiet. They walk quiet. Like they know the drill now, you know. And we'll get them with these thermals, find them, and then we point them, you know, we let them off the leash and we point them whatever direction. They're not a scent dog, they're a sight dog, but usually like we let them off and they'll run initially like kind of hopping around, and then they see the pig and then, you know, they're gone and they catch them. So anyways, that's what we were doing out there that night. And we had a specific field, not even a field, it was a small maybe 15-acre pasture that butts up to a high fence ranch. And these pigs have a giant hole under this fence that they go in, and they tear this little pasture up at night because there's a big, what do you call them, the big feed mills where like all the cattle go. Troughs?
Oh.
Yeah, like the big feed troughs where that was across the street, but it's like
cow lot?
Yeah, like a cow lot.
A feed
you know?
lot.
Yeah, feed lot.
Sorry.
And so that was across the street, so these pigs will go to that feed lot, come to this field, tear it up and whatever. But anyways, so we always see pigs there, and it's closest to my buddy Rigo's house because we basically just hunt all around his house. And so we go to this field first thing, and there's a group of pigs that were like, let's save this for on the way back. So we do that, and so we hunt our normal night. We started at like 7 that night. We got back, by the time we were done, it was like 1 o'clock. And we were like, it's 1 o'clock. Let's go back. Let's hit this field. Let's go catch one more pig or 2 more pigs, and then we'll go. And so we go, and Rigo's like, I'm going to pull off on the side of the road a little further up this time. I'm going to go see if they're still there. Because usually we're just scanning from the road.
I'm trying to paint a picture on this Rigo guy.
Yeah.
Like Rigo.
Badass name.
Dude,
That's what I'm
he's a
saying.
bad motherfucker.
Like I would never mess with a guy if he was like, my name's Rigo.
Honestly, you don't want to. Like, yeah, honestly,
He fits the bill.
yeah, he 100% fits the bill. He is a mean motherfucker, mean Mexican. But he is. But all he does is kill pigs. That's all he does. But yeah, so he parked a little bit up, and when I say we're strict, we have our thermals, but we just go out with dogs. And like the rule of thumb when you're hunting with dogs, like, and I hate it, like when it's hard bringing new people out dogging because they want to bring their pistols and everything. Like we don't bring guns. Like you just don't. Like you don't, because especially new people, they freak out, you know, and they want
a dog.
Yeah, shoot a dog or you know, point a gun everywhere or whatever. But anyways, like I'm gonna park a little up. I'm gonna go see if they're there, you know, and then you come bring the dogs. And so he goes and he walks up to this field and he's just standing there. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, you know, like in time's ticking kind of, and it's just he'll go, they're there, walk right back, you know. But no, he's out here 2-3 minutes just staring at one spot. And
he was freaking out.
Yeah.
You had no idea.
Yeah, and I'm just there in the truck, like watching him in my thermal. I'm like, what is he doing? Like this field's literally 15-20 acres. It's small, and so I'm like, Rigo, you know, like trying to get his attention.
But you want to piss him off.
Yeah, Rigo, literally. And so
Rigo, what are you doing?
he's like, he kind of walks a little closer. He's like, there's an effing mountain lion. I'm like, what? He's like, there's an effing mountain lion out here. I'm like, no, there's not. And
something that everybody would say, you're fucking
lying.
lying.
I was like, no, you're not. And I just hear it, and he's like, get over here. And so I like went over there and put my thermal up, and there is a mountain lion sitting straight up and down like a dog, just staring at him. And I was like, it's just there. I'm maybe 50-60 yards just staring at us. And the feed lot's across the street. The farmer's house is on the other end of the field. The barn is next to the feed lot. It's lit. It's kind of lit up actually, but we can't see it, you know. But that's the thing, is so whenever he walked up on it, this mountain lion was stalking on this group of pigs.
No way.
And almost immediately he said he watched it stalk on, and he has it recorded on his thermal, and I have pictures I can show y'all.
I was about to say, I've seen this
Yeah.
video somewhere.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna toss this on the RCRL so
Yeah,
y'all
right.
can see this stuff.
And so but yeah, so it went from stalking on this group of pigs to, he said, within the first 5 seconds of him being broken out into the field, turned his attention on him and just walked. He said just walked to him, basically sat there like a dog, and we were literally just watching it. We're like, what do we do? Like we're not gonna send our fucking dogs to
it's gonna be torn in half. 2 seconds.
You know. And so we had his little son with him. Like, dude, David, stand behind me. He's like this little 10-year-old. And he's
Get on my shoulder.
Yeah, he's like a pig killing
Son of a
machine, you
bitch.
know,
Get
but
in the
crazy
truck.
kid. And yeah, we're just watching this. So Rigo starts like, you know, making some noises at it and stuff, and it's not phased, bothered, anything at all. And
Oh,
then
he knows he's the top of
we're-
the food chain.
and then it just walked off,
Yeah. And I think that's what happened. Literally, I told you you were fucking lying, and you showed me the video.
Yeah,
I just sitting there. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, and then I got a good like screenshot on my thermal whenever it walked off, and like you see the tail, the shoulders on it, the head, like you see it was 100%. This wasn't no house, like it was 100% a mountain lion, you know. And the video that Rigo has, like of it stalking on, you could just see the size. And I don't know how to judge the size of a mountain lion, but it was definitely a 150-pound calf.
Yeah, it was not a house cat.
Yeah, no,
enough to tear up this whole room in 2 seconds.
For sure.
Man,
for sure.
Dude, Oscar, you've had some stories, bro.
Yeah, it's fun.
Like,
spent a lot of time in the woods, and a lot of late nights. Like you can ask Rudy. Like I hunt until the sun comes up. You know?
Yeah, that's one thing Rudy told me. He said, "Hey, if you go hunt with Oscar, you just sit there and pray.
Yeah,
he is gonna hunt till the sun comes.
Yeah, literally. And a lot of times, like I'm just kind of in my zone, you know, and like I learned the thermals so well in thick woods.
Got them dialed in.
I got them dialed. I got like, and my thermals aren't top of the line, but you know, I
get the job done.
Yeah, I get the job done, and I learned to read them so well, like. I can use my thermal and I can legitimately identify stuff at 1,000 yards that just look like specks to people. I can go, no, that's this or that's that. You know,
which it helps spending those many hours sitting in the woods.
Yeah, I should be blind. In my
left eye.
Yeah.
So this is what daylight looks like.
Yeah,
that's why you're twitching over there with your left eye.
Time on the water.
Yeah, lot of dude. I could go on about stories, pigs, anything. Like I've had some crazy stuff happen. You know.
Oh yeah.
Well,
so
circling off there.
Yeah.
Kind of driving home with this last point.
Yeah.
We ask every guest, kind of, end of the day, what's your why?
What is my why?
Why do you do this?
Yeah.
What gets you up, staying out there all night?
Why do you do everything? Work, hunt, fish. Why do you?
I am just extremely passionate about everything I do. You know, the stuff I have my circle of things that I do, the people that I hang with, like my circle small, you know, like, and you just got to be passionate about it. Maybe that's pretty basic and cliche, you know, but like it's what I was raised around it. Give props to my dad, my uncle. Like I was raised in a hunting family, fishing family, you know, and it's all I've ever done. I've tried other hobbies growing up, you know, and they stuck for a little bit, but nothing like, you know,
nothing like
nothing like that, you know. Like I rode dirt bikes for like, you know, close to 10 years. That wore off, you know. Like I've done all kinds of different stuff, but I just got to stay passionate about it, and it's like I don't even think about it anymore. I just do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like just do it. Yeah. And like if I wasn't fortunate enough to have the places and the things I have to do what I do, like if it was all taken away from me tomorrow, I would do anything I can to have it, you know, come September, October. That's
absolutely.
Awesome. So
absolutely.
And then all, you know, through March till next hail season, and then get back to work. You know?
And like, just it's one of those things, Oscar. Like whenever I first met you, like you were just like it didn't matter what we were doing. You loved doing what you were doing, just like you said earlier. In the moment.
Yep.
And it didn't matter what was going on the day before or what's going on tomorrow. It's like you enjoyed what you were doing today.
Always.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to that, like that shows a lot about a person. And you're one of those guys that I will always look at whenever I'm like having a bad day.
I'm going to cry right now.
No, seriously.
I'm getting to the point.
It's one of those things where you have your small circles, like you said, and David Goggins once said, he's like, who's in your foxhole?
Yeah.
I'd put Oscar in my foxhole.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Good. Because he's going to be all there and fired up at the same time.
Always.
And I can go to sleep while he stays up till the day breaks.
The sun comes up, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I've seen many Snapchats of sun up, sun down hunting.
Yeah, for
PK.
sure.
Oscar, anywhere people can reach you? Like, you got Instagram, some ads?
Yeah.
He's got a girlfriend, though. Don't be
Yeah.
He is a good-looking dude.
I'm on
He's
Facebook, Oscar Cardenas. I spend a lot of time on Facebook, but Oscar Cardenas is my first and last name. My Instagram is kind of my
There's
first and
gonna be
last
some
name
dead shit
combined.
in the
yeah.
profile.
Yeah,
or
it's
cover
all
photo.
it's all dead shit. Yeah. Up until like earlier this year, it was a girl on there, but before that, there was never that. So.
Y'all see him on Instagram,
Yeah.
and we'll get
Still
that video of the mountain lion on there.
Yeah, for sure.
And if anybody wants to aoudad hunt or just kind of get going, like reach out to us. We'll put you in contact with Oscar.
For sure.
And man, he is.
I love taking people out for pigs.
He's a hell of a guy.
Yeah, for sure. I
Hell of a
appreciate y'all
guy.
having me out.
Yeah,
That's
for
great.
sure.
That's
Thanks
good.
for coming on, big dog.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
CRL.
That was